what this blazing straddle show is all about, but being that I'm a cowgirl, I figured I should come out. Thing is, I don't normally stay out this late, early to bed and early to rise. That's why I brought my trusty saddle pad, just in case I run into any nightmares.
Get it?
So, now you may not know this about me, but I'm a bit of a cowboy historian. And it turns out that in the Old West, they used to actually attach a lantern to horses for night travel. It was the first version of satellite navigation. All right, now that's just a little joke. But, now some people, they actually ask me questions about cowboys all the time. And they wonder if cowboys are religious. And it turns out that cowboys, some of us, are downright spiritual. Do you know what a Buddhist cowboy says when he's surprised?
What?
You don't know what a Buddhist cowboy says when he's surprised? Wood in reincarnation. Straight. Yeah. So, whether you believe in the afterlife or not, there's one thing that cowboys do believe in, and that's insurance. Yep. Now, my buddy Earl was trying to buy a health policy, and the agent asks him, "Ever had an accident?" And Earl says, "Nope, not a one." And the agent looks on the paper and says, "Well, looks like here says you were bit by a snake. Wouldn't you call that an accident?" And Earl says, "Heck no, that varmint bit me on purpose." Yep. So, yeah, well, insurance is important, but so is taking care of yourself. Now, just last year, there's a cowboy in Texas that made it to 106 years old. Yep. And when they asked him a secret, he said, "Well, for the past 50 years, I just sprinkle a little bit of gunpowder on my cereal every day." So when he passed away, he left behind 4 kids and 8 grandkids, also 14 great-grandkids, this guy was old, and a 16-foot hole in the crematorium. Yeah, now that is going out with a bang. Yeah. So, now I have to admit, I am straddling up for a bit of change myself. Folks are saying we're due for a revolution. Yeah, I mean, heck, the world's gotten so crooked that even my horse needs a compass to walk straight. Yep. Now, back in the open range, the cowboys, that's what they would fight for an open range. These days, fight for open government. That ain't fenced in by corruption and misled psychopaths. Yeah. Some of these slingshots sitting up high in the saddle might need to be unseated. Yep, even my horse knows when to buck a rider. Yeah. But you know what they say. You don't know what they say? Well, they say you can lead a politician to water, but you can't make them think. Yeah. Now, I know there are some thinking, feeling politicians, and some might even be in this room, so apologies there, because I know we got some good peoples out there. But, I always wanted to tell you about my buddy George, okay? Because we don't need to be talking about politics and liberation. My buddy George is a horse whisperer up in McKinleyville.
Is this a true story?
It's a true story. Yep. Yeah, he's local, And, every, maybe a few nights a week, he gets on his horse and he actually rides up the road to a bar and has a couple beers. And then, goes back home. And one night, there's a cop, and he actually pulls him over and he says, "What the heck are you doing out here on this horse in the dark of night?" And George says, "Well, I just had a couple of beers up at the bar and now I'm going home." And to his surprise, the cop actually gave him a ticket for drunk driving. Yeah. So, of course, George fights it in court. And he tells the judge, "I wasn't driving. My horse was taking me home. And horses always want to go home, and my horse knows the way." And so, what do you know? The judge let him off the hook. He said that the horse was the designated driver. Yeah, true story. Yeah. Well, in such dark days as these, folks, just, don't squat with your spurs on, all right? Yeah. And, we gotta stay positive and blaze our own trails. And, sometimes the quickest way forward is to just sit by the campfire and let the beans do the talking. Right? Yep. Well, I'm going to ride off into the sunset, which is a little awkward because it's already dark. But everybody, I'm Dusty Buckette.
Thank you, Dusty.